Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to jump in here real quick. I know we're getting ready for the morning games, and then the Bucks play a little bit later on. But I wanted to jump in here and give some final thoughts. And who knows? Maybe I could get somebody to call in here. We will see if that even happens. But guys, this is going to be a huge game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I know you guys have heard me say this. When I talk about that measuring stick. I want to see what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do. How do they bounce back from that very close loss to the Chicago Bears? Do they overcome this and do what they need to do, or what happens? I'd love to get some your thoughts or predictions on what's going to happen. So you see the number down here, 813-358-8154. For me, this is anxiety. This reminds me of being in this division with Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, and Detroit, and just how stressful it was for division games because you never know how they're going to turn out. And this is one of those games where I'm like, oh, Green Bay, man, I still have PTSD from when the Bucs used to play them on a regular basis. So uh, this is one of those games, man, that it's a winnable game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have to really execute and do what they need to do in order to make these things work. So, again, this is that game that we're going to see where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are, and how do they respond from the game that they had on that Thursday night football game. So it's really good to see a lot of players coming back. Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, and just other players that we will be able to see here today, and hopefully they will be able to contribute in helping this team win this game, because this is a very important game. You want to try to stay as much ahead as you can of the rest of the division. Tampa's currently sitting there with the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers as well. So this is an important game. And I really feel like every game that Tampa has moving forward will be an important game for them, that each game is winnable, and you just have to go out and execute and do what you need to do. And that's going to be something that we're going to look for. I look for Chris Godwin to make a huge impact on this game. And they have to do something they have to do something to help Donovan Smith. He has been, and I'm going to say this, he's been a liability throughout the season. And fortunately, the Bucs have faced some teams where it wasn't exposed as much as it is. But this game against Will the Brewer, what's going on, man? Hey, Will, give me a call, man. You got the number, 813-358-8154. I'd love to hear from you. Just kind of getting back to Donovan Smith, they have to do something to help this guy. You got to keep Tom Brady upright. You do not want Tom Brady injured. That is going to be huge. Adam Davies, what's going on, man? From the UK, are you staying up late to watch this game? What time is it there? And just kind of getting back to what I was saying. I mean, I think that this is a team that Tampa matches up pretty good from what I can see with the Green Bay Packers. But you do have a team that's they're out there, and they're wanting to keep their undefeated streak going. So yeah, that's definitely something. DP Buck 32, what's going on, man? Let's get that dub. I hope so. Hope and pray. I want to take a moment to shout out the Tampa Bay Rays. They are in the World Series. I mean, you look at what's happening in Tampa. I mean, if you're associated with Tampa, this is a beautiful time to be a Tampa sports person. So sports, and I say person, I don't say fan, just because of everything that's happening, man. I'm super excited about this. And I think that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can carry that if they are out there, they're playing sound football. I think this will be really great for them. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. I'm thinking I may be watching a game. I may just keep the stream up and just watch the game, and just kind of give my thoughts on what I'm seeing throughout the game. I thought that would be kind of cool. But again, I'm the cook here, and because I'm the cook, I have to make sure the food's good, and that. So I've got responsibilities, and so I don't know if that's going to happen, but maybe second half or something like that, I may jump on and just kind of get everybody's thoughts on everything. Again, that number 813-358-8154. If you get a moment, get time, call in. If it doesn't matter what team you're with, or if you are a Green Bay fan, you could call in too. I don't care. Mr. Everything's Bucs, what's going on? How's everything? What are you guys? Let me get your predictions on the scores. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll go ahead and read those off to everybody. And as Adam said, this is a big game. Glad some of the guys are back healthy. Yeah, I think that mini bye week really helped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for players to get right and at least get to a position where they can be competitive. So it's going to be something to keep an eye out for. A guy that I'm still, I know he had that big game. I understand, but Leonard Fournette, I'm really curious how he fits into all of this. I would love to see them kind of mix it up and, see a little bit of Ronald Jones, who, again, if you know me and like Evan Winter, we've been on board with Ronald Jones since way before the season started. So we want to see more of that want to see feeding Ronald Jones more, utilize the run game. They've got some, Green Bay has some really good pieces on their team, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers match up really well, and I expect to see more from them. I think what's going to be key this game is getting pressure on the quarterback. I think you have to get in and get at Rodgers, Joe Cool. You got to. That's important to at least pressure him. I mean, me, sacks are sexy, but if you could pressure a quarterback, if you can get him out of his rhythm and you make him uncomfortable, I think you got something going there. So Mr. Everything Bucs says 30-28. DP Bucs 32. If we get the W if they protect Brady, run game does well, D-line gets pressure on Rodgers, 28-23. I can't argue with that. That's going to be that is definitely something that we could definitely see. Eugene Burke, how you doing? We have another chance to become what we hope we would be. You know what? That is the infernal question right there, man. Because when you look at this team, you look at the level of talent. I don't know, even play calling sometimes just scratch my head on that. But this team has, and I hate the word potential, but I have to use it. They have the potential to really do some things, this season. And we're in unprecedented times. I think you're going to see a lot more fans in the stands this game. But again, the Bucs have to go out there and execute. They have to cut down on the penalties. And again, it's not the number of penalties, it's where these penalties are occurring. And they have to fix that. That has to be something where you can't kill a drive with a stupid ass penalty. You have to continue to go and drive, because I'm telling you what, Carolina, their team was very underrated this season. The New Orleans Saints, you know what you have with the New Orleans Saints, and they're going to continue to do what they do. So the Bucs really have to focus on the Bucs and win these games, go out there and do what they need to do in order to get to the playoffs. I mean, that's going to be what's going to be most important. Let's see. Let's go back here. We can't have another coaching breakdown and have to keep Rodgers on the sideline. That's very important as well. Adam Davies says, with Evans and Godwin both lining up and getting the most of the coverage, I'm looking for Gronk and Rojo to come alive. 34-31. Okay, Adam, I like that. TC Baby One, I think our offense will do well against them. Our defense just had to be disruptive. Again, I honestly believe there's enough talent on this defensive side of the ball. I think that Tampa can match up well against the Green Bay Packers. I really believe that. And it's going to be up to this team to go out there and prove what they can do. Hey, Kwame Richardson, what's going on? How you doing? Mr. Everything Bucs, we have to let Tom run the offense more and call more plays he's comfortable with. You know what? Oh, here we go. All right, you are live on Buck What You Heard. Who we talking with?
Well, it's Smitty. What's going on, man?
T. Smitty got that scare in the first half of that Alabama game, I'm sure.
Hey, I think you was coming for me too. You was ready too,
bro. I had a whole list of stuff to say, but I had to put it to the side because, bro, I was looking. I had you on standby because I was like, okay, there he is. I got it. so I want to talk. Hey, I want to talk about this game, man. What are your thoughts? How comfortable are you with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now?
You know what? I think the problem is that everybody's looking on the wrong matchup. Talking the Bucs offense, Packers D. The big matchup is the Bucs D versus Aaron Rodgers. And yes, they may not have the sexy names that are wide receiver, but we know most Super Bowl teams don't have the sexy names of wide receiver. Mm-hmm. The Bucs D is blitz happy, and they don't get home a whole lot if we got to be honest about it. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers is so accurate and mobile, he could pick that apart with these young corners. That's the thing I'm worried about the most about this game here, is they have to get home on this guy, because if they don't get home, it's going to be a long night for this young secondary. They're good players, but they're still young. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the matchup that I'm more afraid of. That would get me worried.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And on the flip side of that, man, that defense, I really like Green Bay's defense. I got a chance to watch a few games of theirs, and I like what they do, man. That kid Smith, number 55 for Green Bay, the freaking monster. I mean, your defense is shooting, allowing him to roam the line and decide which gap he's going to shoot. It's not like, oh, you have a set defense for him. This guy can actually roam. If you go back and watch him, and I think he talked about it a little bit, that's what he does. He'll roam the line and say, okay, I'm going to shoot this gap right here. And I think Evan Winter talked about it a little bit on Twitter. He had mentioned that the Green Bay Packers aren't really solid at tackling. So hopefully that kind of plays to what Tampa can do here. And Chris Godwin is a godsend. I was so happy to see this guy is going to be back on the field again, and he's sorely missed. I mean, I believe that that's the difference in that last week's game. I don't want to talk about it too much, but just what they were able to do with what they had to work with. I expect big things from this offense this week, and if they can get the execution down and keep down on the penalties.
You know one thing about Godwin, right? I love Mike Evans, but you could do more things at receiver with Godwin, because he has different skill sets, so you can move him around more. Mm-hmm. He can really do things more over the middle, because Evans is a downfield threat. Right. And I think that thing with Godwin, where you can move him around, move him in that slot, things like that can help out. But one thing as well, I know Leonard Fournette's supposed to play, if I remember correctly.
Right.
On the Bucs, I would not try to worry about squeezing him in. You just got to ride Rojo, and you put Leonard Fournette in when Rojo needs a blow. Don't even worry about Leonard Fournette's ego. Rojo has shown he falls out. You ride that young man, because he tried to. Well, we got to give Rojo 15 carries. We got to give Leonard his 15. You just got to go with it. Right. This kid has played well, and don't worry about fitting him in. And I hope they don't make that mistake. And if Rojo is rolling, he's feeding them.
Yeah,
because
he's feeding him.
Donovan Smith, I don't care what nobody says, they got two good pass rushers, the Smith brothers on the Packers.
Right.
They want to attack that left side with Donovan. Run that football up the middle between those three good interior guys we have, and keep that pressure off of Brady as well, where he doesn't have to be Superman. And control that clock and keep that guy off the field, number 12 for the Packers.
Yeah. Hey, I got to ask you this then. And again, I'm not a head coach. I'm not a GM. I'm just a football fan here. Do you run the ball away from Donovan Smith's side? I mean, do you keep the majority of your plays away from his side of the ball? Is that an option? But I think you become more one-dimensional when you do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the majority of your plays, you want to kind of run them away from where he's at. I mean, I just and I've gone back and looked because I don't want to be like hypercritical of Donovan Smith and just be wrong about it, but just watching him and watch him week in and week out, and you don't have a guy that consistently plays 3/4 of football. You just don't.
Yeah, you're right. And the thing is with him, he doesn't want to impose his will. He's like a gentle giant.
Right.
Tristan Wirfs, yeah. Hey, you see the difference with him.
Mm-hmm.
He has a little bit more of a main streak. He's physical because you cannot have finesse linemen. You have to have someone who wants to knock your head off and smile about it.
Yeah.
And I think Wirfs has that. And Donovan doesn't have that. And that's just nothing you could teach about that. You cannot teach someone to play all 4 quarters of be consistent. You can't teach that.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they are.
Right.
And you just have to recognize it and go ahead and get yourself ready, bring in somebody who can give you that. Hey, I don't need you to be Walter Jones. I just don't want to hear your name.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. And all I want, if I could ask for anything, is to see Donovan Smith give Tom Brady time. I don't expect miracles from this guy, but that's all I want. I want him to be able to whoever he's up against, give Tom Brady a little bit of time. I know it's not going to be a whole lot of time, but let's give him a little bit of time to see what he can do. You have to keep Tom Brady upright, and you don't want to get him pressured. So again, I know a lot of people were talking about Khalil Mack, and they continue to talk about Khalil Mack, but the man is a once in a decade player. He's not a guy you can go out and draft next year. He's not a guy you can go out and draft once every 2 years. So it's one of those things, man. Yeah. You have to get it, and again, I know this affects the scheme by having a tight end over there helping him, but whatever you have to do something to where Tom Brady has more time, because what we saw last week week before, whenever it was Thursday, we can't have that. You cannot have that. That needs to get fixed. And, that's something that they're going to have fixed throughout the season.
Yeah, you're going to have to put that tight end there to help him out because he can't handle speed as well. Donovan Smith probably
he can't handle finesse either.
Yeah, he can't handle anything. Things like it. You might have to put Gronk out there because the object is to win the game.
Right.
Not care about Donovan Smith's feelings. Because they do have 6 years to be a solid left tackle in this league. Like I said, we don't need him to be Walter Jones, Jonathan Ocker. We just want to be like Kappa, where we forget that you're on the team because we never hear your name.
Yeah, that's all. I would
run.
Yeah, and that's all you want right there. And, again, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what they gave away with athleticism when they let the other quarterback go, you lost that, but you should have more ability to make plays, to be able to manage the game a lot better, to be able to have those pre-snap and post-snap reads and be able to make plays. But at the end of the day, you got to keep him upright in order for him to do that. So, again, you almost have to scheme around Donovan Smith so that he doesn't affect how this offense flows.
And that shows how good Rojo has played because that gives a little bit more hope. Get me a little seat on Rojo Island there, get my cabana ready because
hey, you're welcome. Hey, you're welcome to join the fan club. We've had the fan club's been open since before the season started. So, you jump on board.
Yeah, because he's ran effectively without even anything from the left side. Because remember, for years now, they try to run behind Donovan on third and fourth and short, and they get pushed back. And so that gives you a little more hope for Rojo that he's running pretty effectively, and you can't even run behind the left tackle. And so that right there, and I think that the problem people are saying why we focus on Donovan, that is so important because it doesn't matter how quick Tom Brady releases the football if you get beat even quicker. because and that is, see, what happens is, I think it's a blessing that we got Brady in this regard. They have to move on with Donovan.
Yeah.
Because Brady going to be like, look, man, and that hurts Brady as well because this guy is not 2007, 2010 Brady. Nothing wrong with that. He's still a good player. It's just age and stuff like that. So you got a guy who cannot escape the pocket. Like, there's no knock on him. That's just how God made him. And but you have to hold this guy upright, because here's the other thing as well what people are missing. They don't have a Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola at the wideout position, who these quick twitch guys who move around the slot like that.
Right.
So you have to give him a little more time. I know Scotty Miller's small, but he's not a slot guy. He's too small to play the slot, in my opinion. So
I think he's gonna have to show what he can do, you know, as the season progresses. He's gonna have to. There's a lot of players. There are a lot of players that have to step up right now, in order for the Bucs to be competitive. Yeah.
And the thing is that's why I was like, hey, you got to hold them upright, because you don't have those same type of receivers that, you know, that you can left out just be, hey, I already know Edelman's going to be here for this 5-yard curl or out, and I get him that ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing with making sure that, hey, hold this guy upright, because it will take you a little bit longer to get over. That's no knock. It's just different skill set. You know, that's how I look at it. And I think they've got to figure that part out.
Yeah, Kwame Richardson made an interesting point, and I've been saying this. I'm going to put this back up here. Is anyone opposed to drafting Smith's replacement in our next draft? You have to. I would not pay him. I would not pay him the money that's coming to him next year. There is no way. And I've said this. I've gone on record saying this. I said this before the season started. Donovan Smith will not be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer 2021 unless he takes a humongous pay cut. The only way I could see that happening, because just based on his body of work as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, you have more bad than good when you just look at everything. When you look at everything from, I think probably his most solid season may have been his rookie season, or possibly 2016. Those are the two seasons that stick out to me. But other than that, Donovan Smith is who he is. And what you're seeing from him every Sunday, that's who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's who this guy is. And that's what you have to deal with.
You know what, James? Here's the thing I want people to think about. Yes, I know he's durable, but a lot of people come to work every day to think of their job. Here's the thing, right? This is technically a contract year for him.
Oh, God.
And you're getting that production.
Yeah.
That's something you got to think about right there. Well, most time players get a contract year, they play the best ball of their lives. And,
Doug Martin was a great example of that.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Hey, Doug Martin is on the Chase Daniels level of finesse. Yeah. That's all I got to say. But yeah, so you got to think about that as well, because there's no guarantee money. And if you have to trade up a couple places to get a left tackle, so be it. You have to address that, but not just for Brady, but the next guy that's coming in, most likely will be a young guy. Yeah. And you don't want the football beat out of him as well, because I say this real quick, Jing. You get a good left tackle, that position's set for 10, 15 years, depending on how long the guy can play.
100%, as long as you can keep him healthy.
Yeah. That's how. So you have to worry about that position anymore, and it's so important. So I don't care if there's a nice receiver in the draft with the Bucs picking. If you have to take this left tackle, if you have to trade up a couple of spots, depending how their record shakes out at the end of the year, you're gonna have to do it, man.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's been ongoing, and you know, I can't stress this enough. I mean, I know that we've talked about this on previous shows. But Donovan Smith was in the right place at the right time when he got that contract that he got, because there's nobody, I promise you, the Bucs would have replaced his ass had there been somebody out there that they knew they could bring in and get max production out of. But better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And, you know, there just wasn't anybody in the draft. Somebody mentioned, and I can't think of somebody mentioned somebody, but what he was asking was way out of the realm of the Bucs bringing him in. I love the Bucs line right now. I love this line with the exception of Donovan Smith. With the exception of Donovan Smith, and you know, when you have Gronk coming in there, you know, to help block, that helps out a lot, man. And I think this is one of those things where they just have to continue to gel. This will be the first regular season game. If you look at the grand scheme of things, you got 4 preseason games. So we've gone through all those games right now. This is the first game where you can look at this team and say, okay, I think we have an idea of what this team is going to look like. I always go, you know, game 5, game 6 for me. It gives you a really clear view because you kind of weed out the pretenders and you really see who the contenders are. So I think this game is going to be vital for the Bucs to really show who they are. I realize that you got people coming back from injury that are going to be coming in trying to get get back in and work with this team. But at the end of the day, man, I think this is what you're seeing. The core of this team, losing Vita Vea was huge. But again, I think there's enough talent on this team top to bottom to where they can be a successful team to go towards the playoffs.
Yep, because the run D, right? I know Vita's a huge loss. And I always say this. I remember when they drafted him, I was like, oh, no. That's that big joker that played at Washington when Alabama couldn't run on him in the playoffs.
Could not run on him.
I know. I remember that. And he was chasing Alabama players down. That's why I was like, oh, this guy's going to be a good player.
That's what I'm saying. Who was the running? He ran down a running back. And it was a third quarter. I can't remember. It was third quarter of that game. And he ran. I can't remember who the running back was at that time, but he ran him down.
Yeah, and that's when the Bucs picked him. I'm like, oh, I'll take this. Yeah, I actually watched them.
Yeah,
and play and stuff. That's why I was like, and plus, that position is hard to fill as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
That like defensive line, we always premium position, and so we'll see what Roaches does. Nacho, I keep getting this. I butcher his name, but because now he's the starter, not the rotation guy, and that's a big difference as well. But we just need to be solid. You don't have to be top of the league in the run D. You just have to be solid in many cases. And I think that's the thing that I just hope fans understand. Hey, just need to be solid. As long as
just be effective.
Is solid, I think they'll still be fine. Just be solid, man.
Yeah,
that's all I ask for.
Yeah. Man, I'm hoping I love Nacho. I love Nacho and he's been a guy that I've really loved and I love what he's done. And, I like Will the Brewer is saying, I hope he steps up and he's able to do what he does, man.
Good player. He worked hard. He gained some weight. He worked on his body, so he works hard there. Yeah. And I love seeing guys like that who take the hard road, get rewarded, and get an opportunity. I love those stories.
Yeah, and a good example.
Real quick before I run.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Gene. Say your example.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say a great example of that was Ronald Jones. Peyton Barber was another one. Mm-hmm. These are guys that I realized where Ronald Jones was drafted, but you saw an inept coach give up on him, and you know what? He fought through that. He got better, and then the next year he got better, and he's continued to improve his craft to get to where he is. I believe that Ronald Jones has earned this starting position that he has. And again, I think he's going to be very beneficial for this team, just as much as Fournette. And if we get McCoy back, hopefully we can get something out of McCoy. Hopefully that tank isn't empty.
And also remember, Adam Humphries came from nowhere, worked his way. He got a little big over the years. Cam Brake off the street. Since he's been in the league, one of the best red zone tight ends in the league. And so I love seeing those stories. But I think the score is for me. I think it will be 27-24. Only reason I'm going with the Packers is because of the style of defense where they will run, they blitz happy, and Aaron Rodgers could beat that. I hope I'm wrong, and I enjoy being wrong, except when it comes to Alabama football, of course. But hey, I hope I'm wrong here. You saw my tweets, I was going nuclear. But anyway, But I think the key to this game as well, and I hope fans sitting down when I say this team going to be a running team.
Yeah.
I think they're their best when they're a running team because they control a lot of scrimmages the way it is.
Yeah.
And, because you can't ask Brady to be a 40-time thrower every week. Now, someday, like the Chargers game, when you need it, it's kind of like Jordan on the Wizards. Well, Jordan was a good player, and if he needed that 40 or 50 every now and then, he could give it to you.
Yeah.
But he's still a 23-point a game, 20 point a game score was still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think that as long as they focus on the run and let Rojo and Leonard Fournette take them home, I think this team will hit that 10-win mark. If they try to shy away from the run when it's time for closing time, they probably miss the playoffs. So I'm just being honest about that.
Bro, that's my concern is hopefully they can pull all this together. Well, guys, it's after 10. Yep. It's time for this game. What are we at? 1 o'clock. It's 1:04 right now. So it looks like there's some games that are getting ready to start off. I just wanted to jump on with you guys and say what's up. Willie Graham, Amazement 717, Will the Brewer. Thank you guys for taking time to stop in here for a minute. I just wanted to get on here and kind of give you my thoughts. Again, if the Bucs can cut down on the penalties and have that good execution, I expect the Bucs to be competitive, and this is a winnable game here. So, guys, enjoy the game. I may come back on and just like watch the game with you guys live and kind of give you my thoughts, and I may be able to do that. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Enjoy the morning games, and I will talk to you guys later.